Let me look at each. Okay, so this we did nothing with. I think one time I did try and clean it. As far as I know, it doesn't matter. Close this back up, which I think I forgot that on one attempt as well. I had left like briefcases open, but that also that does not matter. I removed this because in case they found out about Paul. Close this back up. That's another thing I forgot once. Again, we're going through everything just to make sure that I explain what I've been doing because I can't keep track anymore. It's just it's I know how Bill Murray felt in Groundhog Day. Like what actually I think he had sort of an idea of the things that he tried. At this point I don't even know. I don't know what I've said, what I've done, who I am, where we are, anything. Sophie, this is you're gonna have to carry me through this because I don't know what I'm doing. I got rid of this, the letter in here, just in case it's like, hey, she took out all of her money. I got rid of this because it shows their secret language. Maybe they'd figure out. Here's the lipstick, by the way. So we got rid of all of that, and that's the only thing in here that I think off the top of my head that we changed. I'm going to close all of the things. In 506, we've tried cleaning up all of this. Doesn't really matter. These are all the party people. We left that as is. In here, we remember to get rid of the mugs. We got rid of all of the letters, and we took out the key. We closed this. We put the key back. We got rid of these letters and that letter just in case. I don't know if any of the Michael related correspondence gives any hint to the detective. Got rid of all of these things that mention their marriage because I don't know if that's gonna be anything. In Paul's room, we got rid of all of the pictures, his gun, his. Also, I'd like to think of it as not we're getting rid of because that's really sad because we have all of like Anne and Marcella's. Granted, losing the correspondence probably preferable to going to prison for the rest of your life for murder. Granted, it is still kind of sad to get rid of all their history. So okay, since we're editing our own ending, we're stitching together our own little ending. Because I really tried to get that ending. I really tried, and I I could not seem to find a way to get it. The Kiwi tried to help me to find a way. We could not find anything online. Maybe someone has done it, but I couldn't find it. Which is why we're doing a cheeky video editing to get our happy ever after ending. What was I on about? Yeah, I don't. We can headcanon getting rid of all of their stuff, not as actually throwing it out, but like they keep hiding somewhere so they can get all of their letters back. Because it is a bit sad. But again, it's even sadder to go to prison. But like, it's a bit sad that all of their history and their little letters back and forth get lost. So since we're since we're getting our own edited ending, we may as well just headcanon that yeah we hid it somewhere and we got it all out later. But yeah, they did an excellent job. There's nothing wrong with the writing. It's just that I really wanted that ending. So for our own entertainment, we're gonna do a little cheeky edit, video editing, to sort of to get that ending that doesn't actually exist. Oh, another thing. Again, maybe I've already told you about this. Did I tell you about it? I think I told you about it in here. That you could find out a bunch of stuff about Beth and have different dialogue options. Which again, you know, you should totally buy the game and find out all of those dialogue options for yourself.
Is there anything I've forgotten?
So it's a shame that we do miss a bit
I'm sorry.
of those things, but
I'm
I didn't want to risk ruining our relationship with Beth. She seems really nice. And as I've mentioned, I think multiple times in this, I just want us to live happily ever after. So we should have gotten everything done upstairs. Again, I've said that so many times at this point. Hopefully, this is the last time I have to say that. But there was also a couple of things in here that we didn't do the first time. That I didn't do the first time, but I'll take the blame for it. Also, in this scene, take note of Sophie's eyes.
Police Service, Station 22.
I don't know if the animators
there's a
were
man
just like
dead.
kicking butt that
He's
day,
been
or
murdered.
if they
I
got
need the
an
police.
actor into like act the scene out and they copied
The
it.
lobby.
But like her eye
The
movements
body,
and
it's upstairs.
the way she's looking around panicked and remembering things, and
11
I just thought that was really
1178
well
Drummond
done.
Street.
I thought it was really impressive, and I wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
So, do you remember the scene where we were talking on the phone with Beth and she opened the envelope? Here's the contents of that envelope, which I don't think
So
I
Anne
looked
and
at the first
Marcella
time.
really are planning to run off together.
But you have to also get
Was
rid of
what
this.
happened
So
to
it's a
Hector
ticket
part
for,
of their plan?
I believe it's a ticket for Anne, Marcella, and Paul. Because
Is this the brochure
Michael can
Beth
probably
was talking about?
go for free because
The one that came in the mail for
know,
Anne?
he's a child.
The West Coast. That's about as far from Montreal as you can get without crossing an ocean.
We have to get rid of this. And then there is these letters, which we did look at, I believe.
Bernard
The first
really
time.
wants Paul out of the hotel.
We never really found out who the prestigious guest was. I was going to say because he was on the wrong
Okay.
floor, but considering
I
we
can
got a
see how
murder
this
on
can
our
make
floor,
Paul look bad. But
probably
it's
did
obvious Bernard cares more
you
about
know,
the hotel's reputation
the right
than
choice.
the guests' well-being.
Okay. That should be everything.
Oh, hey you.
Hey,
Great
hey.
timing, right? I'm thinking if we're lucky, Bernard will let us go home. No point in working in the dark. Sophie? Bean.
I'm pretty sure
not
I've
scared of
been
the dark,
working
are
more
you?
in the dark upstairs than I've
Hey,
worked in the light.
Is everything okay?
I found Mr. Cruz. Hector.
Oh, you did? What was the bloke up to?
Just
You
lying
don't
around.
understand. I found his body. He's dead, Beth.
Oh, merde. Merde. Sit down, okay? You look like you're about to faint.
You have no idea.
Have you called the police?
Yeah,
Numerous times.
They're on their way.
What happened? Was there an accident?
No, I don't think so. Someone did this to him.
You mean... Merde.
No, murder.
Do you think it could have been Anne and Marcella?
What about Paul? He and Hector were caught fighting. I also found a letter from one of Hector's customers. He seemed really angry. I guess it could be him as well.
The cops will want to talk to you. Know what you've seen. You need to be careful about what you tell them. If word
Don't worry,
of
I've
Anne
talked
and
to him
Marcella's
many
affair
times.
gets out, they may put a label on them that will really hurt them. It might not even matter in the end if they did it or not.
I think I know what you mean. It's easier to put the blame on people who are different from you, even if you're wrong.
I'm glad you can see that. It makes the world a little safer to have people like you in it. You know, I was barely 20 when I was shoved into a police car for just hanging out with people who made me feel like I wasn't so messed up after all.
What? Where did that happen?
At a bar called the White Cat. It's supposed to be a safe space, but it gets raided by cops every now and then. I know Anne was caught at least once too.
Wait, you know her?
No, I've never talked to her, but I've seen her a few times. Marcella and her, they're just like me.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me with this.
Maybe now you can understand why I care so much about you. I don't know if I'm feeling inspired by Anne and Marcella, or if it's the shock of being so close to an actual murder.
Well, at
but
this point, I've been up there by the murder victim so
I'd
many times
really
that's
like for us to be more than
I'm like a
just
hardened
friends, Sophie.
detective at this point. I don't feel anything.
Yeah. I'd like that too.
That's that's great.
I'm so used to him now. It's like we're
Police
friends.
is here.
When Weekend and Bernie's this.
Just be mindful of what you
You
do.
know, if the detectives or the
Yeah.
police had just arrived a couple
Yeah,
of hours
of
earlier,
course.
we wouldn't be in this mess. I'm just saying, maybe they're to blame. Just saying. All of this could have been avoided.
Miss Roy?
Now we find out
Miss Roy?
if I actually
Miss
did it this
Roy.
time.
Oh,
Again,
sorry. I was
We can't get the perfect ending
I really need
that
you to focus
I would
right
like,
now. I don't want to be here
but
all
we're
night, and
going
I'm sure
to
you don't either.
sneakily
No.
make that happen.
No, I don't.
So, as I was saying, we're trying to ascertain the circumstances of Mr. Cruz's death.
And
Can
you
you
need
tell
my
me how
help
you came
because
to find
you're
the
not
body?
good at your job.
I was
Don't worry, I
cleaning
got
room
it.
509 when I heard the elevator bell ring. Again and again and again. I thought maybe a child was playing with the doors. So I went out in the corridor, and that's when I saw him. All the blood and...
Why was the elevator bell ringing?
We wanted to have a
I'm
chat.
sorry?
You said you heard the elevator bell ring. Why was it ringing? I assume it wasn't a child after all.
Well, Mr. Cruz's body was preventing the doors from closing.
Really? When we found the body, it
Come on,
wasn't
detective.
that
This is
close
not
to the
this is not
doors.
difficult. You can figure out why
The stairs are
maybe
blocked because of the
the body was
renovations,
moved.
so the elevator's the only way out of the 5th floor. I had no choice but to move the body. Just a little.
Ah, so that explains the traces we found. Thank you.
Did
for
you
clearing
inherit
that
this
up.
job, or
So,
is it nepotism? Because you're
what
not
did
good
you
at it.
do after that?
Well, that's when the power cut. So I had to go to the janitor's closet.
To access the fuse box.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I changed a few fuses and turned the power back on.
But there's a lock on that box, isn't there? Did you have the key?
Oh, please don't take I used an ice pick out of context. Thank you.
No, I didn't. Only Eugene does. But I thought an ice pick might do the trick, so I went to the ice machine to get one.
You're a size 7, I suppose.
Yes, I am. Why?
What did you see when you went to the ice machine?
There was blood. A lot of it.
Did you touch anything?
No. No, nothing.
That's weird. It sure looks
And
like someone poked around the
I
crime
could
scene.
not find a way to
Oh,
avoid
well.
this,
We'll know more once the fingerprint analysis
while at the same
comes in,
time not having
won't
Anne,
we?
Marcella, and Paul
So,
not go to prison.
what did you do after restoring the
But
power?
don't worry,
I took the elevator
we
down
got
to the
that
lobby.
fixed now.
That's where I
Oh,
called the police.
we will.
Do you remember what you said to the operator? The exact words.
I...
Detective, I have no
No,
idea what I'm saying, what
I'm
I've
afraid I
said,
don't.
what has happened. This
You
is
said there's a man
It's-
dead.
it's been a long
He's
couple of
been
days.
Murdered.
That's possible.
What makes you so sure it was murder?
Well, I know about Mr. Cruz's angry customer. The one who sent him death threats.
Oh, yes, we found those.
Allow
but
me
the
to do your
customer in
work for
question
you,
lives back in
detective.
Texas, so there's no way he could have killed Mr. Cruz.
Actually, I think he may be staying at the hotel.
Have you encountered him?
No. In room 504, there's a guest who seems to be traveling alone. Yet, he has these 3 teddy bears in his room. Mr. Cruz's customer lost his 3 children in a fire.
I don't
and
know
his
if I'd
flares
call
are
them slightly burned. They were rather
So
crispy.
An interesting deduction. I'll look into that.
You're welcome.
But how do you even know about the death threats?
Mr. Cruz told me the other day.
Really? Was he?
I
in the
mean,
habit
you
of
could go
talking
ask
about his
him.
personal life with hotel maids?
Oh, wait.
I really can't say what his habits were, but he seemed to like me.
Then maybe you'll be able to answer one or two of my questions.
This is where we find out
Do my best.
if I had done
Let's start with
if
the
I've done
victim's
the
wife,
things that I was
Marcella
supposed to.
Cruz. Apparently, she left in quite a hurry this morning. What can you tell me about her?
I've been on this screen so many times, only to have my heart break.
I don't really know anything. She just looks like a loving, caring wife.
You wouldn't be trying to protect her,
Okay,
would
we're
you,
good.
Miss Roy? Because now's not the time for misplaced female solidarity.
No.
I would say
I'm
now
not.
is the time for some good detective work, but
Let's try something
you're the
else
one on the
then.
case, so
We've learned from one of your colleagues that the victim had a fight with a guest named Mr. Spade. What can you tell me about him?
okay. And now we find out if I did the second part right.
I don't know much. Only that he seems nice.
Does he? It's very odd.
Yes.
Both Mr. Spade and Mrs. Cruz are prime suspects in this
We
case.
did it.
And yet, we have very little evidence on either of them. It's almost as if someone has cleaned up after them.
And that's why after we've talked at the very end with
I really
Beth,
hope I'm wrong, though.
after she's gotten
Because if I'm
fired and
right,
stuff,
that
which
would be obstruction of justice.
I don't know a way
and the
to avoid
people
that. I don't know if it's a
person
thing.
responsible
'Cause,
could
for example,
face
there's no
very serious
no
consequences.
achievement for having her not
But hey,
fired,
I
so
guess we'll know soon enough.
that's what I used to like sort of try and look into. Maybe I'd missed something if that was a thing, but I think you might not be able to save her from that. But after you've had the talk and you've had the kiss and stuff, it shows the detective coming in through the door with an officer, and we get arrested. And Beth is like right there with us. Like we get a lawyer and everything, but then they take us away. But that
Bernard
part
sounded really dejected.
we're
on the
gonna
phone.
cut out.
Time to see what that's about, I guess.
Also, Bernard being dejected is really good, because that means things are going poorly for him,
The
which is always
atmosphere
that's
so
that's good. We
different,
like it when
and
things
it'll
go poorly
probably
for
be a
Bernard.
while before the
But
hotel
also,
reopens.
that means his brother is gonna get back
Ugh, go to hell.
as
Beth.
the person in
Hey.
charge.
Are you okay?
I'm out of a job. But other than that, yeah, everything's just peachy.
What? No,
I hope you're luckier than I am. Come join me when he's done with you, all right? I'll be questioning my life choices on the mezzanine.
yeah.
I still haven't
Yeah,
looked up what
okay.
what a mezzanine is. Usually I didn't get this far because the detective was like, oh, he had found out about Anne, Marcella, and or Paul, or me. I was like, oh, darn it.
Oh,
Back
hi.
we go and try again.
Come in. So, I suppose you know why you're here?
I'm not sure, actually. Your phone call was
I don't
a
think
bit
these
vague.
Well,
matter that much.
I prefer to have this conversation
I don't
in
think they
person.
have a that much of a
As
impact.
you may be aware, the hotel's reputation has taken a solid hit. We've been mocked and ridiculed by the papers. It's truly humiliating. And that's not even the worst of it. With a story like this, guests may not flood through our doors again for a very long time. If ever, I may have no choice but to sell the hotel. Just years of arduous work gone down the drain.
Let's be honest, you didn't do much of the work.
Anyway,
You probably hindered a lot of the
it's
work, let's
clear
be
now
honest.
that we're going to have to tighten our belts for at least a couple of months, which means cutting off dead weight.
That
I suppose
makes me think
I'm the dead weight.
we should probably
Yes.
see who gets the
You've
most
been
salary
quite
and
the
maybe tighten their belt
disappointment.
a bit.
Unclean rooms,
Hey, Bernard?
several complaints from guests. I may have been too busy to notice it before, but now that it's staring me right in the face, I cannot continue to ignore it. You're fired.
What?
So I don't think either of these matters. But I mean, we're gonna go with.
You can't fire me.
You can stuff your job.
Because I quit.
Sure. I fire you, you quit. It's all the same to me. Just make sure to empty your locker before the end of the month.
We will see in a little while if it's the same to
That'll be
you,
all.
ex-person in charge of the hotel. Besides, we're gonna live happily ever after with Beth in her bar. So it's all good.
Hey,
Hey.
what a week.
Yeah. So, what did Bernard want with you?
Well, he was being kind of a jerk, so I quit.
You what?
I quit. I figured there was no point in staying if you were leaving.
I appreciate the solidarity, but you really didn't have to do that.
I think it's for the best. Did Bernard say why he was firing you?
Oh, well, he's been itching to get rid of me ever since he took over from Raymond. Now that he's hell-bent on cutting expenses, it was obvious I would be one of the first to go.
Well, I'm not one bit worried about you. I know you'll be just fine.
I know, because I've seen the
Yeah,
future.
I do have
And
a
also, if the
cat-like
future does
ability
not
to land on my feet.
fit what I want, I will
And
edit it in
think of all the
post.
good times you'll have away from Bernard.
I'll miss annoying him. He turns into a particular shade of red that only I can get out of him. But no, you're right. It's time for new challenges. I could see myself owning my own establishment, one that caters to the right kind of crowd. Believe it or not, I do enjoy the company of people, just not, the stuck-up, entitled clientele of this prestigious hotel. But maybe if I were behind the counter of, say, a bar, instead
Sounds
of a
like an excellent
receptionist.
idea. Let's make that happen.
I don't know. Is that silly?
No, it's not. In fact, you'd be perfect for it. You're the most charming person I know.
Thank you. I'm really glad you're in my life.
Me too. Can I,
Kiss me?
yes.
I thought you'd never ask.
That was...
I know.
What do you think will happen to them?
Who?
Sorry, my mind wanders sometimes. I meant Paul, Anne,
Same,
and Marcella.
Sophie.
Do you think they'll be released?
Yeah, I think so. Paul will probably become a famed photographer. His portrait of you will be hanged at the
Oh, you have no idea what
entitled
awaits Paul, Beth.
The Inconspicuous Maid.
You're about to see.
It will
He's
sell for millions.
Is that so?
Yeah, and Anne and Marcella will ride into the sunset on the back of two Appaloozas, watching over their newly acquired ranch. They'll be constantly followed by their only sheep. They'll call him Paul, for old time's sake.
I like that. I just want them to be happy.
Me too.
here's how things turned out. He became a famed actor instead. And Marcella and Michael left together. lived happily ever after in sunny California. And Bernard's brother Raymond took over the Clarington instead. And everyone is welcome. And we did not go to prison. Instead, we lived happily ever after with Beth in the bar. And there we go. That'll be our little special ending to this bed we made. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. And I'll see you next time.